Welcome to the Makpar Cybersecurity Forum video podcast series designed to provide federal agency leaders with all the strategic tools and insights they need to develop the strongest possible cybersecurity postures today and into the future. And today we are speaking with Mustafa Lutfi, who is an InfoSec consultant at Makpar, who will be discussing the topic of what's my attack surface. And Mustafa, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Great to have you. Let's jump right in. Can you define what is an attack surface?
Well, an attack surface is basically any way that an attacker can attack you. Any way that attacker can attack your infrastructure, your company. This includes your people, your assets, your infrastructure, your buildings. It can really just be anything. So you really want to kind of understand where your threats are coming from, so you can better protect yourself from those threats. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know what threats you have, or who is looking to hurt or steal from you, then you won't know how to protect from it. I think it's Sun Tzu, Art of War. You've got to know you got to know your enemy, right? So this is one of the things that you've got to do to have a proper, vulnerability management and cybersecurity program. Attack surface is basically where you want to just say, hey, this is where an attacker would want to enter or steal from me.
Great. And so from your perspective, what are one of or some of the most overlooked attack surfaces right now?
Well, with COVID-19, everybody's working from home. I don't think a lot of companies were ready for the remote work. Encryption was not enabled. There were no VPNs enabled. And this was almost just like a overnight type sensation. A lot of people did not have this type of contingency. There were some companies, that were pretty mature cybersecurity wise that, had the maturity to have this in their business continuity plan, but majority didn't. So this kind of, allowed a lot of attackers to have a lot of different openings into your company, because you have your users and your employees out at their house using insecure connections, using insecure Wi-Fi, sending insecure emails, data that is flowing over, regular internet as opposed to VPNs or company intranet. You've got to be able to authorize and make sure that these people are actually the people that you are your employees, because an attacker could spoof your employees. And you've also got to understand that social engineering is at its height, with everybody in the house, and there's no personality or interaction between people. Somebody could easily just socially engineer an attack on someone and get the credentials, and then they have the keys to the castle. So I think right now is just working from home is the biggest attack surface.
Interesting. Great perspective there. So what can agencies do to mitigate threats from this particular surface?
Well, first of all, you want to give security awareness training to all your employees. You want to make sure that they're all, aware of phishing activities, spear phishing. There's a lot of robocalls going out. So you want to make sure that they are aware of the security implications and different types of security attacks that an attacker might have. But then you also want to close your attack surface by utilizing something like zero trust, where authentication and authorization is kind of done at a more granular level, as opposed to like a keys to the castle. Say, for instance, you gain access to the front gate, then you have access to basically everything else in the castle. This way, zero trust basically allows you to gain access to each specific, compartment. So, say for instance, let's use an airport as an example. You have to buy your ticket, then you have to go to the counter to check your bag, then you have to go through security. And say for instance, you're a privileged user and you're on the tarmac, you have to go through another security door with a different type of access. So each door, you are authorized again, and that's in the name zero trust. You don't trust anyone. So
excellent. Mustafa, appreciate those insights. And our last question is, how can industry help?
Industry can help. I mean, there's so much out there. There's a whole bunch of different companies that are running through zero trust. There are a whole bunch of companies that are making security awareness a lot easier. There are a whole bunch of companies that are trying to automate, vulnerability scanning. Really, OWASP top 10. That's one of your, open web application security project. And basically they take the top 10 security vulnerabilities out there. I think right now it's credential stuffing, which is basically stealing a whole bunch of different passwords and just password spraying them at a application. Say for instance, I download 4 billion passwords and I have all of, from different data or password dumps over the past couple of years. If you haven't changed your password in a couple of years, then I might have access to your Instagram. I might have access to your work. And people actually do utilize the same password pretty much across the board. So even using a password manager like a LastPass or a 1Password would probably be a lot better than not. So there's just a couple of different ways to reduce your attack surface.
Excellent. Well, this concludes this Makpar Cybersecurity Forum video podcast interview with Mustafa Lutfi, who is an InfoSec consultant at Makpar. And as you heard, he was kind enough to discuss the topic of what's my attack surface. And Mustafa, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.